And the whole point of bringing a journal to her was to say, I wish you happiness.
What if the one thing meant to symbolize love, loyalty, and family actually exposed every lie holding that family together? What if a simple ring, the so-called claddagh ring, revealed a father's conditional love, a mother's blind trust, and a stepmother's quiet manipulation? That's exactly what happened inside the Brown family when Mykelti, Christine, and Cody's daughter, opened up about her missing claddagh ring, the same symbol the family paraded on sister wives as a sacred token of unity. But behind the cameras, this tiny silver band wasn't a sign of family love. It was proof of favoritism, punishment, and deception. During a Patreon Live, Christine Woolley and her husband David sat down with Mykelti to talk about everything from parenting and writing to family memories and faith. But it was one unexpected confession that stopped everyone cold. Mykelti revealed she never received her claddagh ring from her father, Cody Brown, not because it was forgotten, but because he deliberately withheld it as punishment. The symbol of love and loyalty became a tool of control, a prize that had to be earned by obedience. In the Brown household, love wasn't freely given. It was conditional, transactional, and deeply tied to how well you performed for Cody. Christine had always written about those rings as something meaningful, the little token that bound everyone together, the piece of jewelry representing their complicated plural family. She even recalled in her book how she'd gotten Truly a pair of earrings and Savannah a claddagh ring during their trip to Ireland. It was sentimental. It was family. But for Mykelti, that same memory was filled with pain. She sat there on Patreon, calmly explaining how her father decided she didn't deserve her ring because she had been misbehaving. Cody, in all his self-righteous control, had made his teenage daughter feel unworthy of love. And this wasn't just about jewelry. It was about a girl growing up under the weight of religious expectations, strict rules, and a father who equated affection with obedience. When Mykelti spoke about this moment, you could hear the quiet frustration, the way she'd carried it for years. She had to earn her father's approval, earn the right to be acknowledged, and even earn a ring that was supposed to mean unconditional love. And when she didn't measure up to his impossible standards, the punishment was emotional, a withdrawal of affection disguised as discipline. In that same conversation, Mykelti revealed stories that never made it to sister wives. The audience never saw the messy, very human reality behind the polished family image. She admitted to being rebellious, experimenting, testing limits, and doing what many teens do while trying to figure out who they are. She even shared how she once got caught with a girlfriend in high school, how Christine found out when she saw a giant hickey on her daughter's neck the next morning. It was one of those wild, awkward, real-life moments between mother and daughter. Christine's reaction. She was strict, yes, but still protective. Cody's reaction. Shame, punishment, and more control. And the irony. After all this, Cody, the man who preached about morality and purity, sat Mykelti down to lecture her about hormones, kissing, and waiting until marriage. The same man who had multiple wives and preached family values had no issue turning love into a test she could fail. But here's where it gets darker. As Mykelti recounted her story, Christine suddenly realized something she had believed for years was a lie. Christine had been told that Cody did get Mykelti her claddagh ring, but the truth was, he never did. Robyn, Cody's fourth wife, had told Christine that Cody had already bought the ring for Mykelti. That was a lie, one that changed how Christine saw her own child. Because if she believed the ring had been given, she wouldn't fight Cody over it. She wouldn't confront him or defend Mykelti. Robyn's lie erased that chance completely. Mykelti explained how she finally got tired of waiting, tired of being treated like she needed to prove her worth to her father. So she went on Craigslist, found a ring she liked, sterling silver with an amethyst stone, and bought it herself for around $50. That moment said everything. A daughter buying her own symbol of love because her father refused to give her one. That single act of defiance was more powerful than anything Cody could have taught her about loyalty. It was Mykelti taking back control, reclaiming her dignity from a father who made love a conditional privilege. Christine sat there, stunned, realizing that Robyn had lied to her face years ago. That tiny lie, "Oh, Cody got Mykelti a ring," might sound small, but it had massive emotional fallout. It drove a wedge between mother and daughter. It made Christine believe her daughter was being taken care of when she wasn't. It made Mykelti believe her mother didn't care enough to fight for her. And all of it was orchestrated by Robyn, the woman who stepped into their lives as a peacemaker, but acted as a manipulator behind the scenes. The revelation shattered more than just a family myth. It exposed how deeply control, favoritism, and deceit were woven into their household. Mykelti grew up thinking she had to perform for love. She had to behave a certain way to earn her father's affection. While Christine unknowingly stood on the sidelines, manipulated into silence. And the person engineering the confusion, the one whispering lies into both their ears, was Robyn. Always playing the role of the devoted wife while quietly pulling emotional strings. What makes this entire story tragic isn't just the lie itself. It's how normal that kind of manipulation had become in their family dynamic. Love was a currency, and Robyn and Cody controlled who got it and who didn't. They disguised control as care, punishment as spiritual guidance, and emotional neglect as parental discipline. The Claddagh ring, meant to represent love, loyalty, and friendship, turned into the perfect symbol of hypocrisy. And the saddest part? Mykelti had to buy her own proof of belonging. That ring, bought with her own money as a teenager, became the only version of family love she could trust. She didn't earn it. She claimed it. Christine's face during that conversation said everything: disbelief, regret, and heartbreak. She had no idea how deeply her daughter had been hurt, how long she had been left feeling undeserving, or how Robyn's interference had distorted her own relationship with her child. And when you look at it closely, that moment wasn't just about a ring, it was about a family unraveling under the weight of lies, pride, and misplaced loyalty. For years, fans of Sister Wives saw the Claddagh rings as this charming symbol of unity, the way Cody bonded his wives and daughters together. But the truth is, it was all performance. Those rings were props in a narrative Cody and Robyn wanted the world to see, a world where he was the benevolent father, the loving husband, the leader of a strong spiritual family. But in reality, behind those carefully filmed scenes, his love was selective, his attention conditional, and his actions deeply manipulative. And when Mykelti spoke up, she didn't just tell a story, she broke the illusion. That single confession on Patreon ripped open a wound that had been festering for years. It wasn't about jewelry. It was about love that had to be earned, trust that was betrayed, and a young woman who realized that sometimes you have to buy your own ring just to feel like you belong in your own family. You belong in your own family. Every family has secrets, but what happens when those secrets are deliberately planted? When one woman's soft voice and calm smile are used as weapons to divide, deceive, and dominate. That's the truth behind Robyn Brown, the woman who entered the Sister Wives family as a supposed peacemaker, but ended up being the silent architect of its collapse. What Mykelti's confession revealed about the Claddagh ring was just the surface of something far darker, a calculated manipulation that rewrote relationships, broke bonds between mothers and children, and protected one man's fragile ego at the expense of everyone else. From the moment Robyn joined the Brown family, she was presented to the world as Cody's spiritual soulmate, gentle, understanding, the one who saved the family. But behind that image was strategy. She didn't just marry into a polygamous household. She infiltrated a system already weakened by imbalance and used her empathy as leverage. Mykelti was one of her earliest targets, a young girl caught between loyalty to her parents and the need to be seen, to be valued, to be loved. And Robyn saw that vulnerability immediately. At just 12 years old, Mykelti didn't fit neatly into the family hierarchy. She wasn't as quiet as some of her sisters, not as compliant as others. She laughed too loudly, asked too many questions, and wasn't afraid to explore the world outside their strict religious expectations. In any normal home, That's just adolescence, messy, emotional, and temporary. But in the Brown home where Cody's authority was treated like divine law, curiosity became rebellion, and individuality became defiance. That's where Robyn stepped in. She didn't scold, she didn't punish, she comforted. She gave Mykelti what she was starving for: attention, empathy, and validation. While Cody used control to earn obedience, Robyn used affection to earn loyalty. It was the perfect manipulation. She played the motherly savior while quietly collecting information. Every secret Mykelti shared, every fight she mentioned, every confession about Christine's house or her feelings, all of it became ammunition Robyn could take back to Cody. And that's what made her dangerous. Because Robyn wasn't yelling or punishing like Mary, she didn't have to. Her weapon was subtle influence. She planted seeds of doubt, tiny lies designed to shift perspective, to make Christine look negligent and Cody look like the misunderstood father trying his best. When Mykelti told her mother she'd bought her own clatter ring, Christine was blindsided. Robyn had told her years ago that Cody had already given the ring. Why lie about something so simple? Because it created distance. Christine believed her daughter already had her ring. She wouldn't question Cody's neglect. If Mykelti thought her mother hadn't cared, she'd pull closer to Robyn, the only adult who seemed to be in her corner. That's how manipulation works, not through grand gestures, but through quiet distortions, repeated until they sound like truth. Robyn didn't need to scream to destroy Christine's credibility. She just had to smile, nod, and lie softly. And she did. Over and over again. It's easy to see now how each wife fell into her own role within Cody's orbit. Janelle, the practical one, detached. Mary, the broken loyalist, clinging to a fantasy. Christine, the nurturer, always carrying everyone else's pain. And Robyn, the manipulator, strategically using emotions to reshape the entire family dynamic around herself and Cody. For Christine, love was selfless. For Robyn, love was transactional. She didn't just want Cody's attention. She wanted control of the narrative. When Christine and Mykelti talked on that Patreon, you could feel the heartbreak between them, a mother realizing how many years had been stolen by misunderstanding, and a daughter finally recognizing how her teenage pain had been used as a tool. Mykelti admitted that during her younger years, she often felt disconnected from her older siblings. She didn't fit with the girls who followed every rule. She didn't feel understood. Robyn offered acceptance when Christine was exhausted, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. It was a perfect storm, and Robyn took full advantage. By presenting herself as the safe adult, Robyn made herself indispensable. To Cody, she became the emotional translator, the one who could explain why the kids were acting out, why the wives were distant, why Christine was struggling. But what she was really doing was rewriting events to fit her own agenda. To Cody, she'd say, "Christine doesn't discipline enough." To Christine, she'd say, "Cody's just under pressure." To the kids, she'd say, "Your dad loves you, but he's trying to do what's right." Every statement sounded kind, but every word twisted reality. And when you look at how the Brown family unraveled, the pattern becomes clear. Robyn isolated each person just enough to make herself the bridge between them. When Mykelti rebelled, kissing, partying, dating girls, Robyn was the one who offered forgiveness while Cody withheld approval. When Christine doubted her worth, Robyn assured her she was loved, while simultaneously telling Cody that Christine was unstable. It was psychological puppetry, a slow, quiet corrosion of trust disguised as compassion. That lie about the clatter ring wasn't a random moment of forgetfulness. It was strategy. It ensured Christine wouldn't confront Cody. It made Mykelti believe her mother didn't care. And it let Robyn maintain her image as the loving stepmother who knew everything. The truth came out years later, but by then the emotional damage was already done. Mykelti's teenage years were filled with confusion, punished by her father for being human, and comforted by a woman who used that pain as leverage. That's not love. That's control wrapped in empathy. And the longer Robyn played this role, the more the kids learned to equate love with performance. They didn't know what unconditional acceptance looked like. They only knew what it felt like to earn approval or lose it. Christine herself admitted in that conversation how painful it was to realize she had spent years performing for Cody's love, trying to be the good wife, the faithful partner, the perfect mother, only to discover that no amount of sacrifice would ever be enough. Cody's love was selective, and Robyn's manipulation reinforced it. Every wife had to earn his affection. Every child had to behave the right way. And the moment anyone stepped outside the mold, they were punished with distance, silence, or shame. The emotional game Robyn played didn't just divide a family, it rewired how they understood love. When Christine said, "I never once thought my kids had to earn my love," she was indirectly exposing the system that Robyn and Cody built. Together, a system where affection was a privilege, not a right. In that world, rebellion wasn't just disobedience. It was betrayal. And loyalty didn't mean support. It meant submission. What's striking about Mykelti's story is how normal her experiences sound to anyone who's ever grown up under emotional control. The push and pull, the guilt and reward, the shifting goalposts of approval. That's the hallmark of manipulative parenting. And when you add a religious justification to it, the damage multiplies. Cody and Robyn didn't just demand obedience, they wrapped it in divine authority. They made it sound righteous. They made it sound holy. Robyn's talent has always been her ability to look like the victim while orchestrating chaos. Every tear, every tremble in her voice, every scene where she breaks down about family unity, it all feeds into her power. Because as long as she looks like the emotional one, she can't be accused of cruelty. It's psychological camouflage. And in that camouflage, she's managed to manipulate not only Cody, but also the public narrative of sister wives for years. But Mykelti's story cracks that illusion. It reveals that Robyn's kindness was selective, strategic, and deeply self-serving. She wasn't comforting a confused teenager. She was recruiting one. She wasn't lying about the ring to protect feelings. She was controlling information. She wasn't trying to keep peace. She was maintaining power. The most haunting realization from that Patreon talk wasn't just that Cody failed as a father, but that Robyn's manipulation made Christine look like she failed as a mother. It turned Christine's natural love into guilt. It turned her patience into passivity. It made her question her own instincts, the exact outcome a manipulator wants. And when Christine finally left Cody, that same tactic was used to make her look like the villain. Robyn's control didn't end with marriage. It extended into the next generation. She positioned herself as the grandmother everyone's kids should love, the emotional center of the family. But when Mykelti and Tony began building their own lives, Robyn's silence was telling. The same woman who once called Mykelti her baby now had nothing to say. No mention, no affection, no involvement. Because in Robyn's world, loyalty is temporary and conditional. Once you stop serving her purpose, you disappear from her narrative. The irony is that Robyn's greatest success was making everyone else look unstable, Mary, emotional, Christine, dramatic, Janelle detached while she appeared calm and selfless. But in truth, she was the most destructive of them all. Because emotional manipulation doesn't leave visible scars. It erodes from the inside, leaving confusion, guilt, and distance where love should be. The Claddagh ring story is no longer about a missing piece of jewelry. It's about the invisible system of control that defined the Brown family. A system built on lies whispered softly enough to sound like love. When the gavel struck for the final time, the sound echoed like thunder rolling through the courtroom. But it wasn't just the end of a trial. It was the end of an illusion. What began as a simple hearing had exploded into a war of truth, loyalty, and betrayal that would change every single person in that room forever. The air was thick, trembling with anticipation as the cameras zoomed in on faces that would never again look the same. No one had predicted that this final day would spiral into chaos. The audience, journalists, and even the judge had sensed it that something dark and unstoppable was about to unfold. Every secret buried beneath years of manipulation was now clawing its way to the surface. Robyn's composure shattered like glass. Her carefully constructed mask of innocence could no longer hide the fear behind her eyes. Cody tried to remain stoic, but even he couldn't suppress the tremor in his jaw when the truth hit him. Christine rose, her voice calm but razor-sharp. "You thought you could silence everyone. You thought no one would ever find out. But you forgot one thing, Cody, the truth doesn't stay buried forever." Those words, so simple yet lethal, sliced through the room. Cameras caught it, microphones amplified it, and within seconds, social media erupted. Millions watched as the Brown family's carefully guarded facade collapsed in real time. The footage went viral before the court even adjourned. Hashtags trended globally. Hashtag the final confession and hashtag Cody exposed dominated every feed. People couldn't believe what they were witnessing. A family once celebrated for unity, torn apart by its own deception. The producers of Sister Wives hadn't planned for this kind of ending, but it was too real, too explosive to script. Meanwhile, Robyn tried to defend herself, claiming she was protecting her children, that she never meant to betray anyone. But the evidence spoke louder than her tears: documents, messages, and voice recordings that revealed years of manipulation and lies. She turned toward Cody, searching for support, but his eyes were cold. Whatever bond had once existed between them was gone. Christine and Janelle stood side by side, no longer the quiet, forgiving wives they once were. They had become something stronger, survivors of a storm that should have destroyed them. "We were never the villains," Janelle said quietly. "We were just the ones who finally stopped pretending." The audience fell silent. Even the judge looked momentarily stunned by the rawness of the truth. Outside, fans gathered like it was a movie premiere.